Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting, May 22nd, 2023, 7 p.m. meeting of the Wayne-Westland Board of Education. We appreciate your presence here this evening. We're going to begin our meeting this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, led by Jackson Duncan Barnes, Ruby Barnes, and Scarlett Barnes from Walker Winter Elementary School.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd like to get a picture of you. Can you come up to the front?
Julie's going to read it.
This is the principal of Walker Winter, Judy Minage. Julie?
Yeah, Julie, you want to?
Oh, you want me to get in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then you can give the bio on the kids.
All right, so these are.
Yeah.
Before you do that, I want to give them these presentations so they can hold them.
Oh my gosh. That's when I make some Thank you.
Would you like to read a little bio about the kids?
I would love to. So these are three of my amazing Walker students. This is Jackson's. Hi, my name is Jackson. I'm 11 years old, and I go to Walker Winter Elementary School. My teacher is Mrs. Nugelis. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Canton, Michigan, and live with my mom. My favorite colors are blue, red, black, and purple. My favorite thing to do is play sports, video games, and hang out with my friends. My favorite sports are baseball, football, and basketball. My favorite places to visit are Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Kalahari, and going up north to Mackinac City and Mackinac Island. My favorite subjects are math, science, and social studies. I really enjoy eating pasta, pizza, spaghetti, and I also love buffalo wings. All right. I have two sisters that are twins. They are both 9 years old. My favorite things to do when I go up north are to go to Mackinac Island, go to Grand Hotel, go to the Haunted Theater, and go swimming. I also like going to the Upper Peninsula to beautiful places like Pictured Rock and to Quamana Falls. I also like going to Detroit to do things like see a Lions game or go to a restaurant. My favorite restaurant in Detroit is Grandma Bob's. Ooh, you gotta hear about that. This is about myself, and I hope you enjoyed reading about me, learning about me. Scarlett, raise your hand if you're Scarlett. I can get that right. Oh my gosh, Scarlett. Hello, my name is Scarlett Barnes, and I am 9 years old. And when we wrote this earlier, she was 8, and now she's turned 9. So I don't want to mess that up. She's 9 years old. I go to Walker Winter Elementary School, where I am in 3rd grade. My favorite subject is reading. I even go to the library, and my favorite book is Me. I think it is a great book. My favorite instrument is the trumpet. And the first time I saw it, I wanted to play it. So I asked my music teacher, Mr. Wilcox, if I wanted to play it, if he has a trumpet, and he did. So I started playing it, and it was amazing. And, Hi, my name is Ruby Duncan Barnes. I'm 9. Well, this is when she was 8 years old, so I'm ad-libbing here. So when she said she was 8, and I'm gonna be turning 9, just like my sister. It's crazy. They do everything with her, and we are twins. The school I go to is Walker Winter. It is the best school I ever had. You can tell because I have been there since kindergarten. Also, I've had amazing teachers over the years, especially Mrs. Cloak. Oh, and if you're wondering, I'm in 3rd grade. And I have a lot of friends, and one of them is Skylar. I also have an amazing principal, Mrs. Mike.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda this evening is the roll call. Ms. Hines?
Mr. Albrecht?
Here.
Miss Abney Mitchell excused. Ms. Hines present. Ms. May?
Present.
Mr. Neal?
Here.
Dr. Weaver?
Present.
President Cox?
And I'm here.
Let the record show 6 and 1 is absent.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Next item on the agenda is recognitions and presentations. Dr. Dignan?
Thank you, President Cox. Good evening, board. Good evening, community. I'd like to call up Mr. Mike Schulte and the team of people with him to talk about Unified and esports. Before they do, I just want to say our Unified Sports this year is probably one of the highlights of the whole school year. To go out and watch our student athletes compete and play. You talk about sportsmanship and teamwork. It was incredible. I know tomorrow the bocce team's at United Wholesale Mortgage in Pontiac for a tournament, so we're excited for the bocce team. I'm going to have Mike talk both about Unified and esports. We have our middle school team from Stevenson that's done an incredible job on esports, so when he talks about esports, if you could join him at the podium. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Schulte.
Thank you, Dr. Dignan. School board members, I appreciate the opportunity to come here and speak to you tonight. We're thrilled with the opportunity to start some new things or bring back some things that have been here before. The support you have for esports, for our unified sports teams of bocce ball and basketball, and hopefully next year soccer, have brought joy, smiles, competition, and opportunity to a lot of our students who didn't have that before. As we go through this, what I'd like to do is introduce the people from Stevenson and let them tell you a brief summary of their season. We could have Coach Brian McTaggart and Coach Serge Abate come out here along with the members of the Stevenson esports team who could be here tonight.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. This year, Stevenson Middle School has piloted an esports program. Esports are video games played competitively. Our school worked with an esports theater program through the Michigan Association of Secondary School Principals. Along with 13 other middle schools across the state, we competed in scrimmages, games, and tournaments in titles such as Rocket League and Super Smash Brothers. In addition, some of our club members aged 13 and older took part in a national level league through the Middle School Esports League. This allowed them and our club to test drive how esports operates at a high school and collegiate level, including maintaining game and player accounts, participating in matchmaking, and having a shot at a national tournament. Building familiarity and confidence in these areas will provide a leg up to these competitors as they go on to play in high school, where scholarship and, yes, career opportunities await them in the arena of esports. Throughout all of these experiences, our players built skills in communication, teamwork, and the technical aspects of digital competitions, all while fostering a growth mindset. Players were encouraged to take responsibility for club duties such as setting up and breaking down equipment, managing network connectivity settings on their devices, and being responsible and accountable for signing up and attending games. Each semester, we rostered 30 students to our program. We explained to students that esports is a club with the expectations of a sport. Students had to maintain academic and behavioral standards to be eligible to play. We worked with students who were struggling to make positive changes and saw positive results. More than that, we made it the expectation from day one that our club was an inclusive and positive environment, a place where we would fight negative stereotypes and toxicity while holding ourselves to a higher standard. I am overwhelmingly proud of the growth our players demonstrated this year, both as competitors and as citizens of our school. I would like to take a moment to thank the incredible people and organizations that made this club possible. Firstly, Mike Beckman and Kirk of Our Savior Church, who generously provided funding for purchasing our equipment. Their donation has created an ongoing opportunity at Stevenson for years to come. We cannot thank them enough. Secondly, Kim Doman, principal of Stevenson Middle School. Her belief and unflagging support in this very new venture was the rocket fuel that let us take off. we would still be grounded without her. Thirdly, the support of the Wayne-Westland Business Department, Building and Grounds Department, IT Department, including Joe Carroll, and the Stevenson custodial staff and Stevenson clerical staff, including Tracy Cranston, Nicole Paris, and Natalie Greenshields. They all had a hand in requisition of equipment, preparation of our esports lab, and ongoing maintenance of our program. Fourthly, Kim Bailey and James Bryant, who volunteered their time to be assistant advisors in our club. Fifthly, the Wayne-Westland Foundation for the Improvement of Instruction, whose grant will ensure our club's participation in league play for the coming year. And lastly, our club members, like Nolan here, and their families, whose patience and flexibility throughout this year, as we were getting started, gave us the grace we needed to get where we are today. As our team finishes this year of play, it's an understatement to say that I am very excited for next year. I know our advancing 8th graders have set themselves up for success in high school, and I know we have an incredible pool of talent in our returning students. Come fall, our club will continue to focus on providing great competitive opportunities while developing lifelong problem-solving and social emotional skills. Thank you to the superintendent, the school board, and you all for your time and attention.
Do we have any of our high school esports players here today? If so, please come on up here and join me. So just as a sidebar with that, their coach was sick. He was confirming everything with them today. As of last week, we had a number of players who were committed to being here, but I will be speaking on their behalf. So this year, Wayne-Westland Community School started a high school esports team. There was lots of interest, and they took it slow by playing the Overwatch game. Overwatch is a video game that is played competitively by a team. They played in the Play Versus League, which has both school teams and independent teams in it. In preparation for the league play, they practiced several times a week from October through April. Most of the practices took place at the William D. Ford Career Tech Center, but a couple practices took place at John Glenn High School. These practices helped them to build teamwork and communication skills. It was during these practices that the 3 teams were formed: the Alpha team, the Beta team, and the Charlie teams. Expectations were set for the participants, and they had to maintain academic and behavioral standards to be eligible to play. If they struggled, support was given. When it was time for the end of season tournament, the teams were well prepared. Due to their success in preparation, they were ranked highly as they began the final national tournament. Once again, national tournament, everyone in the country. The Playverse came out with a final ranking, and Team Alpha finished ranked 41 in the nation, and Team Bravo ranked 55th in the nation. An end of season celebration was held for the students, where each one of them received award pins. Considering that this is their first year of the sport, is available to our students, this is an incredible accomplishment. And congratulations to all the student athletes and their coach, Griffin Herman, for all their hard work, teamwork, and skillful gaming and competing. We'd like to thank Superintendent Dignan, the school board members for their support, the staff and community as well, who helped to make this happen. Finally, we want to thank the team members and their families who supported this as they went through this first season of figuring things out. They're excited to move forward with esports in this summer, because it will be a summer program, and to grow the program for next fall. Once again, thank you for the support of esports. The last piece I have is we'd like to invite those participants and coaches from our unified sports teams to please come up and join me around by the podium here.
Yes, you had that when they get done. Mr. Schulte, when you guys get done, we want to get a picture
Yes.
down here too.
Thank you. So for the unified sports program this year, we had 2 coaches, Coach Larry Lyman, who's here with us today, Coach Ramon Watkins, who is working at a track meet and with the track team, and he'll be coaching with them tomorrow when they go out to Pontiac in the morning for their end of season tournament. Dr. Dignan, school board members, dignified community members, colleagues with Wayne-Westland Community Schools, thank you. Thank you for the support that was needed to bring unified sports back to Wayne-Westland Community Schools. Our high school athletic league has sponsored a unified basketball and bocce ball program for the past several years. This year, Wayne-Westland community schools were able to participate with the combined Wayne-Westland team, made up of students from John Glenn High School, Wayne Memorial High School, Adams Middle School, and Stevenson Middle School. Both the basketball and bocce ball teams were coached by Larry Lyman and Ramon Watkins. For the basketball season, we played several regular season games, including a home game at John Glenn High School and a home game at Wayne Memorial High School. The season concluded with a tournament involving all the teams in the league. While score was kept, and we did win more games than we lost, the true success of the program was in providing an opportunity.
And we owned Belleville.
The true success of the program was providing an opportunity for more of our students to play on basketball teams. The bocce ball season is much more laid back than basketball. We hosted the second set of bocce matches at Wayne Memorial High School. Once again, the league was formed through the Kensington Lakes Athletic Association, and we played teams from our area. The season concludes tomorrow at United Wholesale Mortgage in Pontiac, where the Special Olympics of Michigan is hosting the end-of-season tournament. For both of these teams, we had a core group of students we could count on to be at every practice and every game, while we had others who came when they were available. I know that many thank yous were given at other board meetings when the donations were acknowledged, but we could not have started these teams back up without the support of everyone in this room and everyone in our viewing audience. Thanks again for providing the staff and the resources to field the teams and for supporting all of our students.
Yeah, we'd like to get a picture of you down here, please. Sir, thanks for, appreciate it. Thank you all for coming tonight.
You're good, Jack. Go ahead. Step in front of me.
Look at this way, this is where all the cameras are.
I'm good.
Item 2, Dr. Dignan.
Yeah, I'd like to call up Ms. Dybus and Ms. G as they're making their way up the podium. They're going to discuss blessings in a backpack. I want to thank Hicks Elementary. A few years ago, they were the first to kind of pilot this program. Just to give an idea of what this is, Blessings in a Backpack, $110 feeds a food insecure child for the year. So again, without the collaboration of many people, this wouldn't have been possible. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Dybus, who can get into the program.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Dignan and Board of Education members. At this time, I would like to ask all of our students who are in post-secondary education who have participated in Blessings in a Backpack, if you could please come up to the podium and join me at this time. Okay, so I would like first this evening to explain a little bit about Blessings in a Backpack. So what we do is our amazing post-secondary students, they do all of the legwork for our Blessings program. And what they do is they pack up meals every single week for students at Hicks. They get on a school bus with the bags of food. They ride it over to Hicks Elementary School, where we distribute the food discreetly to students in need. Last school year, we were feeding 40 students at Hicks Elementary, and this year, with their help, we are feeding 150 students at Hicks Elementary. So at this time, I would like to thank all of our students. Their names are in front of you on the TV screen, and we're also going to be calling them down in a minute for certificates to be recognized by our Board of Education. I'd also like to thank all of our post-secondary staff who support our students as they pack the food and transport that over to Hicks. I would like to thank our staff from the Family Resource Center who continues to do inventorying of all our food and just making sure that things run seamlessly. I would like to thank our food service department who picks up the food each month from Meyer for us. I would like to thank our staff at Hicks Elementary School, both Amy G and both of her social workers who make sure that the food gets to the students who are most at need. And I would like to thank our bus driver and the attendant on our bus who bring the food over to Hicks with us. So at this time, I would like to go down front and have any of the students or staff. We have certificates for all, and we would like to honor you with those. So please, if we can go down to the front and get those certificates.
Shaking your guys' hand on a regular basis. You guys are going to work. Oh, I get it. No, no.
Just look this way, I'm gonna take a couple, all right? 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm good.
Real quick, as they're leaving, I just want to say this. Without our post-secondary students' ownership of the program, it would have never got off the ground. They do an amazing job daily and each week. They, as Mrs. Davis talked about, they prepare backpacks for students that are food insecure. So again, if we could give them a huge
Sure. Are we doing it outside?
We'll say yes.
We'll do it outside.
Yeah,
So we're gonna do certificates.
outside, yeah.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna do the certificates outside and get pictures of everyone, so we're gonna go right outside this way. Okay?
Good job, guys.
Thank you, students.
Thanks again, guys. Good job, Alessandro. At this time, I'm going to call Mr. Rosser up. We have our Wayne-Westland Innovative Academy student representatives. We have the team from our Innovative Academy here this evening. I want them to say a few words and then introduce their students.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kente Rosser. I'm the proud principal of Wayne-Westland Innovative Academy. We have a student who will represent us here this evening to share with you all her wonderful experience during her time at Innovative Academy. Her name is Alyssa Mary Jane Atkinson. But we also have our administrative team here with us. We have Mr. Barber, who is the assistant principal of Innovative Academy. He's also over the virtual program. And we have Mrs. Villa, who is the assistant principal, and she's also over the WAY program. And just to give you all a very brief overview of how our programs work, we have multiple tracks for student success. We are the alternative high school for all intents and purposes, but we appeal to today's alternative student. Some of our students have adult-like responsibilities, or they have outside of school commitments. So the multiple tracks that we have serve the needs of our students and our community. We have the traditional face-to-face setting, what makes that program unique is the small class size. So roughly 15 or 20 or so some odd students per teacher. We also have the virtual track. So some students are 100% virtual. Some students are hybrid, part virtual, part hybrid. And we also have the WAY program, which is project-based learning. And this also has a virtual component, but the students have to commit to coming in for 4 hours per week. But Mary Jane was one of our face-to-face students, but she also has some virtual classes. So I don't want to bore you with my speech. I just want to introduce Mary Jane, and she can share with you her experience at Wayne-Westland Innovative Academy, and for her, what makes us a unique school setting. So, Mary Jane.
Hello. As I stand here before you today as a proud member of the amazing school community, I want to take a moment to express my deep appreciation for the incredible support and guidance that I've received during this time here. I was able to overcome obstacles and achieve my goals, and I could not have done it without the help of my amazing teachers, Mrs. Haverkate, Mrs. Hanshoe, and Mrs. Amanda. These are the 3 teachers that went above and beyond to help me excel in ways I could never have imagined. They saw my potential, and they pushed me to be the best that I could be. Ms. Haverkate challenged me to think critically and never settle for anything less than the best. Ms. Hanshoe inspired me to be creative and think outside the box. Mrs. Amanda believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I'm a former student who was recently pregnant as of January. I was able to graduate 2 weeks before my child was born, and I'm able to give the teacher I did not believe that graduating for me was possible, being that I've come from a rough background, but I'm so happy to see that I'm able to push forward and achieve more goals and be able to go and do more school. I'm so excited to be able to be a part of this, and I'm so excited to come from Wayne-Westland Community Schools.
We would like to thank the school board for allowing us to speak before you all tonight. We would like to thank our superintendent, Dr. Dignan, for allowing us to be here and having the vision for our space. Also, our assistant superintendent, Mr. Toko, for helping us to help the vision to come to fruition of the multiple tracks and multiple lanes for Wayne-Westland Innovative Academy. We'd like to thank Assistant Sup Ms. Curry, as well as Assistant Sup Dr. O'Feely as well. We're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish so far this year. We look forward to what we can accomplish in future years. Mary Jane is a shining example of what students can accomplish in our environment. All of our students really promote how loved they feel in our environment, how well they think the staff supports them in our environment. And we're just very proud. We're very proud of what we've been able to accomplish in a relatively short period of time, and we're excited for the promises that the future holds. So thank you all for allowing us to speak before you all tonight, and we will see you all on June 2nd, which is our graduation ceremony.
What's the baby's name? What's the baby's name? Congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to call up Ms. Jonah Moore from our Upward Bound program. This program is so unique and so special, and she's going to share some highlights of what it's all about, so we're pretty excited.
Thank you, Dr. Dignan and the Board of Education members. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't usually speak. I let the kids do it. Good evening. My name is Yvette Jonah Moore, and I'm finishing my 5th year as director of the Wayne-Westland Schools Upward Bound program. I would like to introduce Susan Webb, our program assistant. It is my pleasure this evening to provide the board with an update on our grant status and program activities, and allow one of our students the opportunity to share their experiences while with the Upward Bound program. Upward Bound is a federally funded college preparation program for low-income and first-generation students. The federal TRIO programs are considered outreach programs and are funded through the United States Department of Education through a grant competition. This extremely competitive process occurs only once every 5 years. Last year was a writing year for the district, and of the 1,610 Upward Bound proposals that were submitted in the competition, we are fortunate that our program was one of 937 that were funded on a national basis. We are very proud right now to be finishing year 1 of our 5-year new grant cycle, but especially proud to be in year 41 of continuing Upward Bound program within the Wayne-Westland School District. Our program students are selected through a 4-month-long competitive application process and commit to compliance with many program requirements, which include monthly community service, monthly participation in school activities, keeping their grades in all of their classes at a 3.0 or having to attend mandatory tutoring, a strong attendance record, and participation in monthly experiential learning. Our experiential field trips include visiting museums, concerts, theater, career exposure and job shadowing, academic enrichments, and college tours. We tour 5 or 6 colleges every year, and when our students graduate, they will have had the opportunity to visit every public college in the state of Michigan. Our students are also required to take an Upward Bound seminar class on their daily schedule, so they do have to give up an elective spot for all 4 years they're in high school. And that curriculum includes all core subjects as well as inquiry and critical thinking, financial literacy, employability skills, and post-secondary planning. The last commitment the students have, which I think is the toughest for all of them, they commit to a 6-week mandatory summer program, which this summer will include instruction in math, science, coding, ELA, SAT test preparation, and college planning. We also assist and encourage our students to apply for summer opportunities outside of the district as well. And this summer, we have students accepted and attending programs such as the Regional Center for Math and Science at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, the Astronaut Program with the University of Michigan, the Summer Engineering Seminar at the University of Santa Clara, Exploring Health Careers with Bowling Green University, a pre-medicine program at Johns Hopkins funded through the Joyce Ivy Foundation, an anti-oppression studies seminar through the Telluride Association at the University of Michigan, a business of real estate seminar with the University of Miami, and even supermodel Carly Kloss's summer coding camp called Code with Klossy. At the end of all this extra work, the outcomes are fabulous. Our senior class is required to apply to 8 colleges and 10 scholarships, and our current seniors have exceeded all hopes and expectations. The 25 students in our class of 2023 have applied to 345 colleges. They have been accepted to many, many prestigious institutions, which is just a tremendous reflection on our school system, including the Michigan State University, University of Michigan Ann Arbor, Boston University, University of Notre Dame, University of Southern California, and the University of Chicago. They have earned over $10 million in institutional and independent scholarships. We are also thrilled that they have been the recipients of so many prestigious awards, and among this class this year, we have had students named a Questbridge Scholar, a Gates Scholar, a Dell Scholar, an Equitable Scholar, and awarded a Amazon Future Engineer Scholarship. Thank you so much for your time, and especially thank you to Dr. Dignan, the district, and the Board of Education for your continuous support of this important programming. I would like to now introduce Alan Hernandez, one of our students, who can give you a snapshot of what his 4 years in the program have been like.
Hello everyone, I'm Alan Hernandez. I'm a senior at Wayne Memorial. I've been a part of the Upward Bound program all 4 years. This year I will be graduating and attending the University of Chicago next year.
Awesome.
I will be attending on a full ride provided by the Questbridge Foundation and the Gates Scholarship. I was awarded both, and I will be attending the University of Chicago, where I plan on double majoring in computer science and philosophy. These accomplishments could not be possible without the support of Upward Bound. Throughout these 4 years, I've done the summer program, I've done the in-class stuff, and they've pushed us every year to better ourselves, and this year apply to all the colleges, take advantage of opportunities. Me specifically, I've gotten help with my essays and my college application process. This help was invaluable to me and definitely a big part of my accomplishments. And I just want to say thank you, for making all this possible, to Upward Bound, and then further the district, making all of our accomplishments possible.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Next, I'd like to call Wayne Memorial High School, and Mrs. Thomas, Herman, and Hannah are going to present some of the Detroit Institute of Art winners. As they're making their way up to the podium, we're about to enter into a major partnership this summer with the Detroit Institute of Arts, K-12. So we're pretty excited, and again, I'm gonna have Miss Herman, it looks like, is gonna be the speaker. So she's gonna talk about some of our award winners at Wayne Memorial.
Good evening. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to do this. We had 3 young ladies in our program that were accepted into the DIA's art show this year. The DIA has been doing this art show for 2 years. And they just select a very few number of students throughout Wayne County. And in our building, we had 3 young ladies. The student of mine, I don't see her here tonight, Malaya Jackson, did a self-portrait, which was really beautiful. We posted it on all of our social media that went out for our school. She is a sophomore and just an amazing talent. So it's just great for her to be able to have that recognition for what she's doing in an elective class where she is excelling above and beyond. Where she is as an artist. Brooklyn Trudeau is Miss Thomas's student, and she is here. Where is she? There she is right here, Brooklyn. Congratulations. And Brooke is a 9th grader, right, 9th grader. And then
our last one is Joy Franklin. She is our senior. Joy McCollum. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so exciting.
she's one of our seniors.
Seniors.
So we're just really proud that the girls are able to, our young ladies were able to express themselves in ways that are being recognized by the people outside of just their classrooms and then out into the community, and the Detroit Institute of Art being named the best museum in the nation, in the top 10 in the nation. It's just great to have the student artwork out there for everyone to see. Ladies, you can go down in the front and get your certificates, and we'll take a real quick picture down there with you guys.
Well, you guys are coming down too.
My former Walker student right here.
Gotta get a little credit. Congratulations.
It's almost better. Dr. Tomorrow.
Has got to hold on one more minute because Miss Johnson's coming to take a picture. We give them a round of applause. Now I'd like to call up Ms. Dybus and Mr. Beebe. We've had a big push the last few years on social emotional learning. They're going to talk about a number of partnerships that have been lifted probably the last 2.5 years. Again, behind the scenes, it's amazing what they've accomplished in a short period of time. So, Mr. Beebe, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Wayne-Westland community, board members, Dr. Dignan, to the Wayne-Westland Community School District staff, as well as once again, our community members. My name is Gerald Beebe. I'm the Executive Director of College and Career Readiness and Social Emotional Learning. And with me, I have my partner and friend, Amanda Dybus, Supervisor of Social Emotional Learning. And so on tonight, we want to talk to you and shine the light on social emotional learning within the district. The foundation of SEL is directly associated with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And our focus is meeting the non-academic needs of all of our students to help them be successful and address the needs of the whole child. So at its core, social emotional learning is based on 5 competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. And in an effort to strengthen our SEL programming, we adopted the Trails to Wellness program, formerly known as U of M Trails. So what is Trails to Wellness? Trails to Wellness is an SEL program specifically rooted and grounded in cognitive behavioral therapy, with also a focus in mindfulness. we focus on three tiers. The first tier is around social emotional learning and education. The second tier is around early intervention for students facing mental health difficulties. And then the third tier is suicide and risk prevention. And we'll talk a little bit later about what we're doing in that area. So over the past year, we have been a part of a 2-year evaluation process and rollout that involves treatment groups as well as control groups. Every school in the district will have access to the Trails curriculum. Our control group schools, specifically this year, started off participating in the evaluation. They have gone through the evaluation process and have not had access to the curriculum. However, the goal is to compare the control groups with the treatment groups to find out what are the differences to those who have received the access to the U of M Trails curriculum. So, once again, the treatment schools have already participated in that curriculum and have had full access. And in the fall, the control groups will also have access to the curriculum for the first time. Our goal, once again, is to see the differences between those that have had access to the curriculum. And as a result of this partnership, we have been given full access to every school within the school district. So in addition to Trails to Wellness, we are also actively involved in restorative practices. The research basically shows that restorative practices impact school climate as well as school culture. And also, restorative practices strengthen relationships between students as well as individuals and social connections. So this year, we've started off as of May 3rd, we started working off in training our social workers as well as our deans of culture in restorative practice. We've been trained by John Weiss from the Neutral Zone. And then in the summer, this summer coming up, our middle school staff, counselors, social workers, ISS workers, as well as PBIS workers will be trained in restorative practices. And then in the fall, our high school staff, our intervention specialists, our PBIS specialists, and our intervention staff, those folks who are on the ground level, will also be trained in restorative practices. So at our foundation, we're focused on Trails to Wellness as well as restorative practices. And we believe that over the next 2 years, you will see results from our students in our behavior, in the discipline records, as well as in the data that shows what both commitments will do for the district. So I'm going to turn it over to Amanda.
Thank you. I'm going to discuss, we have a mental health task force in our district, and this task force was actually formed a couple of years ago as a result of the pandemic, but we saw some key components that we felt were missing from different programming here in our district. And one of the significant parts that we do through the mental health task force is we do various awareness activities throughout the year. So the different activities that we do are in September, we have Suicide Prevention Awareness Week, where we wear yellow ribbons, Red Ribbon Week in October, and Be a Buddy, Not a Bully Week in October, both of those around anti-bullying efforts, and we wear red. Children's Grief Awareness Day, which is in November, and we wear blue. And then tonight, we are wearing green ribbons for Mental Health Awareness Month, which is in May. This isn't the only initiatives from the Mental Health Task Force. We've taken a lot of effort around suicide prevention. So one of the other efforts that we've done is we've created frameworks for some of the other initiatives that you'll see this evening. For example, our Suicide Prevention Week. So I'll go more into those in a little bit. So Suicide Prevention Week, again, our Mental Health Task Force created a framework for this. And this week of awareness was September 19th through the 23rd for our middle and high school students. Among the activities, we had a student poster contest to help spread awareness around the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which is 988. So back here on the wall, you see several framed photos. We have a student winner from each middle school and each high school, and their poster is displayed within their school buildings and throughout the board office here. We also discuss suicide myths and facts with students, to how to access help both at their school building and outside of school through 988. We discuss self-care discussions in classrooms, and we ask both students and staff to wear yellow in support of raising awareness around suicide prevention. Wayne-Westland Community Schools is also a proud member of the Western Wayne County Suicide Prevention Coalition. Among the Suicide Coalition are 7 other districts, which include Wayne-Westland Community Schools, Livonia Public Schools, Plymouth-Canton Community Schools, Northville Public Schools, South Redford School District, Garden City Public Schools, and Redford Union Schools. The charge of our coalition is to work together, but also with other hospitals and service agencies to address youth suicide prevention, to support mental health, and to aim for zero suicide among the 7 districts on that coalition. We provide various trainings to all different groups of staff, including mental health staff, food service staff, bus drivers, custodians, and parapros. We are currently working on identifying a common screener for suicide among the 7 districts on the coalition. That screener will be used also with our local emergency room departments so that when our students are at risk and go to their local ER, that we are all speaking the same language, and that the ER is recognizing the screener that has already been done at the school, and that doesn't have to be redone. The parent is also going to go with common paperwork that both the emergency room and the school district have a common agreement upon, so that again, the family isn't walking into an emergency room in a time of crisis and trying to explain their student's situation when time is of the essence. We are also working on creating a data tool to collect much needed data around suicide, and Wayne-Westland is leading that subcommittee, and we're actually meeting for the first time tomorrow, so we're excited about that work. This is just some of the professional development that we offered this year through the coalition, and I say we because Daryl and I sit on the coalition together, and we are proud members to help plan these activities where we provide speakers and trainings. Now in the pictures here, you'll see there's various groups. So we have bus drivers, food service, custodian. I'm proud to say that Wayne-Westland sent the most amount of our support staff, over 60 of them, to a training in June. We also sent social workers, psychologists, and counselors to get more in-depth training on suicide prevention. So not only screening, but how to conduct effective screenings. So those are the other pictures you'll see in your picture. QPR, or question, persuade, refer. QPR is the evidence-based chosen suicide prevention model of the Suicide Prevention Coalition. Wayne-Westland Community Schools was one of the first districts to adopt the model. We actually took the training very early on in the pandemic with one of our partners, Hygera Health. We saw the value to it, so we brought it to the coalition. The coalition adopted it for all 7 districts, and we have now trained more staff than any of the other members of the coalition. We have over 1,040 Wayne-Westland Community School staff trained in suicide prevention, which means those staff are certified gatekeepers and know what to listen for, what to do, and how to get a student or another staff person to help when they are feeling those suicidal thoughts. Their certificate is valid for 3 years, and we made sure to get instructors on staff. So Daryl and myself are actually certified QPR instructors, and so that is how we're going to sustain our model of QPR. Daryl and I were talking today, and we would love to train all of our school board members in QPR. It's a 90-minute training, so I think it would be something that would be great for you to see what our staff and our students are going to be doing. Next up is student training. So we're really excited to get into the classroom to make sure that our students are hearing the same message. We needed to make sure that we trained our staff first. We needed to make sure that our staff were prepared, because anytime you talk about suicide with youth, you need to be prepared for anything that's going to come up and any history or anything like that where we need to be able to provide support. Be a Buddy, Not a Bully Week. This is another effort where the Mental Health Task Force created the framework. This was for our elementary buildings, and this was held October 24th through the 28th. And really what we did is we took this week and we made it a spirit week. And we talked about how do you be a buddy and not a bully, and what are the different things that you can do to put bullying to bed, keep the peace, celebrate differences through Wacky Wednesday, team up and be a buddy, and be brave and be a buddy. So those are the different themes that we had throughout the week. At the end of the week, we launched what we call the Compassion Project, which is a partnership with the city of Westland, and I'll go into that next. So the Compassion Project is where Daryl and myself bring students every single month to the Westland City Council meeting where they can be recognized for random acts of kindness. So every single month, we brought 2 to 3 students to the City Council meeting, all the way from Stottlemyre through 12th grade. As you can see, there's a variety of different age students in these pictures. And really, it was a time to celebrate them. We read out loud their random act of kindness. They received a certificate from the Westland City Council. And it was a time for us to celebrate their random act of kindness.
And then we're also hoping that next year, we're gonna take that compassion project to the schools. And then we're gonna celebrate the students in the cafeteria, in the gym, in front of their students and their fellow students, to see the celebration that we have for those students that treat each other well and treat each other kind.
So next I'd like to talk about probably one of our strongest, actually not probably, it is one of our strongest mental health initiatives in Wayne-Westland Community Schools, and that is Care Solace. So Care Solace is a complimentary and confidential service provided by our district to any student and their family, any staff person and their family. And what they do is they take the lift off of a staff person's plate or off of a parent's plate when you are looking for both mental health services and substance abuse treatment services. So for those of you who have ever experienced perhaps an episode of depression or anxiety or another mental health struggle, it's really hard to even get out of bed some days to go to work or to go to school. So during those times, trying to call around to therapists, find who takes your insurance, verify your insurance, find out when they have an opening, it's a lot of work. And especially post-COVID, where there's a lot of providers who are still doing telehealth, which means they are only over the computer. There's less and less appointments open for many. So what Care Solace does is they do all of that for the family. Either our staff will send in a referral, the family can go to their website or call on their own, and Care Solace will call around for them. They will verify their insurance. They will find someone who has an opening for them quickly, and that matches their preferences. So again, Care Solace can be accessed one of 3 ways. All of our administrators in our buildings, all of our social workers, psychologists, and counselors are trained to make what's called a warm handoff, which is a referral to Care Solace. It takes them 2 minutes to do. Or a family can call the 188 number themselves if they would prefer to do that way. Care Solace, their line is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They are multilingual, which means if you are a family who speaks another language, they have a staff person to speak with you in your native language. They also have a website for those who choose not to supply any identifying information. So if you want help, but you don't want to give anyone your name or your insurance information, you can go to our district designated webpage and you don't have to put that information in. It will still spit out the different results for you that match what you need. So at this time, we're going to play a short video from one of our social workers. Her name is Laura Wilson from Hamilton Elementary on the impact Care Solace has had on her.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura Wilson. I am a school social worker for Hamilton Elementary in Westland, Michigan. Care Solace, I use a lot at my school. It helps all of my students. I'm able to refer them and they take care of everything. A lot of our students in our district are homeless, and Care Solace is able to help connect them somehow, some way, an extra resource with insurance, and get them a mental health provider, which is amazing. That's an extra thing that I would have to do, is get them connected, and I don't have to do that. So I'm able to refer them and trust Care Solace to take that on. You don't want to just refer somebody to a company or to a program and not know what's going on. Care Solace comes back and lets me know how it's going, what happened. I can see the messages and the contact, and it's amazing to know that I can trust them to take one thing off my plate and I don't have to worry about it. And to have families and students to come back and say they've gotten all these resources and help and opportunities makes my life easier, and it makes me so excited to have a program like this in my district. It's amazing.
So I'd like to just share with everyone that Wayne-Westland Community Schools was actually the first school district in the state of Michigan to have Care Solace. They're a national company. They're based out of California. And so next I would like to introduce Brian Peters, who is our Regional Director of K-12 Partnerships for the Midwest for Care Solace. Brian is going to share some Wayne-Westland specific utilization data with all of you this evening so that you can see exactly how many individuals are taking advantage of Care Solace. And he's actually going to do a live demo of the portal real quick. So, Brian?
Thank you, Amanda. I am Brian. I'm the Regional Director of K-12 Partnerships for Care Solace. We support 15 million families across the country with timely, equitable, and transparent access to mental health services. When we first engaged with Wayne-Westland, the expectation from the leadership team was, regardless of situation, regardless of circumstance, they wanted access for mental health services to every single student, every single staff member, and every single community member that needed help. They wanted to be able to get that access. So they turned to us with that expectation that whoever comes to us was going to be given an opportunity to see a provider in a timely manner and to get the help that they need. And so since that time, we've been able to support a number of Wayne-Westland families. And I have the report here. From Wayne-Westland. Last year, we had, as you can see, 544 warm handoffs. Those are handoffs that were identified by staff members, whether it's a school social worker, a school counselor, a school psychologist in the district that has been working with the family, and they said internally, we've exhausted all of our internal resources, we've done everything we reasonably can, but we do believe that there's still more that we could do to support your son or daughter, and we'd like to help you make that connection. And that's when they engage in a warm handoff and turn to Care Solace. Within 15 minutes, we're contacting the family, reaching out to them, trying to get a sense of what they're looking for, a sense of urgency to be able to help them as quickly as possible. The national average is 16 weeks to see a provider. The national average is the same in Michigan, or the state average is about the same in Michigan, about 16 weeks. Wayne-Westland is averaging about 3 weeks, just shy of 3 weeks, to be able to help families connect with providers with a live, local, in-person provider to get that help and support that they need. The national average is also 18 out of 100 families, 18% that are identified by a school system or by a school district actually get the access to support that they need. In Wayne-Westland, we are seeing significantly higher, over 100% increase in the number of students who have been able to get help via that warm handoff. Wayne-Westland is considered among the gold standard in the nation, having provided support to about 50% of every single family that was identified as needing services, has confirmed that they had access to a provider, that they were seen by a provider, and that they were getting help from a provider live, locally, and in person from somebody in your community. In addition, Amanda mentioned that we provide anonymous support as well. If you look here, the number of anonymous searches. There were 308 anonymous searches. That could be somebody who is a student in the district, that could be a parent in the district, that could be a relative of a student in the district, and that could even be a staff member, regardless of their position, from you all having access to that support, down to your substitute teachers, your custodial staff, your bus drivers. There is no limit in terms of which staff members have access to services, because again, the leadership team made it abundantly clear, if there's somebody in our community, somebody that needs help, needs support, we want them to be able to have access. So that does fall on us to be able to make that connection. And in doing so, we have saved people in your community 787 hours of bridging that gap between talking with providers, talking with family members, talking with staff members internally to help make those connections, get those individuals that timely, equitable, and transparent access to services that they deserve. Some of the things that community members are being seen for, the highest is anxiety. 37% of all individuals that were recommended for services were experiencing anxiety, followed by depression, trauma, disruptive behavior, ADHD, suicidal ideation, marital and family therapy, OCD, bipolar, and then bringing up the bottom here, eating disorders. Some of the feedback that we got from folks in the community, this is one from a parent. It helps a lot. It helps the entire family in a lot of ways, with appointments, with scheduling that can fit your necessities, and the professionals you are all looking for. A school counselor had mentioned it's easy to use with a quick turnaround time, and reaching out to parents and having documentation available on the number of contacts and status of the referral is great. And then the last one was also from a parent. I like having a representative to help me find a provider, and they stuck with me until we get the appointment scheduled. So that's another thing too, where a district might try anywhere between 3 and 5 times to connect with a parent or connect with a provider. We go as long as it takes. So it could take 20 calls, it could take 30 calls. The average is about 60 calls, calling providers in the community to be able to book that appointment, and we take care of all that from start to finish. Additionally, I'll show you how that works. So when a district representative has somebody in the community, has somebody in the community that need services, what they do is they engage in a warm handoff. That warm handoff takes about 60 seconds to complete. I timed out, sorry about that.
So if I can just add quickly too, so the process that Brian's going to show you is the process that our building administrators, our psychologists, counselors, and social workers do when they're going to make a referral to Care Solace. And he's going to show you how those staff can use that portal to make sure that they're following the process the whole way through. Mm-hmm.
So that warm handoff, as I mentioned, takes about 60 seconds to complete. You go in, and the staff member identifies whether or not it's for a student's immediate family member, or for a staff member. We're going to go through a student example. If the child is 18 years of age or younger, it is required that there is verbal consent from the parent to engage in a warm handoff. And if verbal consent is obtained from the family, you would click the checkbox. We have drop downs that identify the school which the student is coming from. We would type in the first name, the last name, if they have a preferred name, and then preferred language. We speak up to 250 different languages, and internally 150, so we can support families in just about any language. So there is no language barrier that we can't help overcome for families. The first 5 default into the top 5 most commonly spoken. I'm going to use English here. And then we would type the families, first and last name, preferred phone number, an email address if they want to put one on file, if they want to opt into text. Best time to contact, we operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. and then a brief description of what the family is needing support for. That would be typed in here. And then what happens next, we'll be able to show you within 15 minutes that we're actually going to be providing that contact and that link for families to be able to access care through our care companions. And then if I go back, you'll be able to see on the dashboard that case pop up. And then if you go through, you can see whether or not we're contacting the family, matching them with providers, whether it's pending an appointment, and whether it's appointed into care. And by clicking on case details, you can see a timeline, history, and running record, so that the district can hold Care Solace accountable for those results and make sure that families are getting the help and support that they need, not just being told that they're getting that help. And we also have the anonymous pathway as well. We do know that some families do not want to have that information known to the district. We are all about access to care. We're all about trying to make sure that the families get what they need when they need it. So if the family opts out and they want to go through this process independent of the school system, that is fine too, and we provide that 24/7, 365 access through the anonymous pathway as well. At the end of the day, this was really, really an honor to be here for me. Like I said, Wayne-Westland is considered in the nation one of the gold standards for all implementations. They've been doing an absolutely incredible job, and it's my sincere hope they continue to hold us accountable for results, continue to make sure that every student, staff member, and family member in this community has that timely and equitable access to support, and we're going to continue to do our best to make sure that everybody in your community does get the help and support that they need. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we're going to continue the discussion around social emotional learning and just talk about some of the programs and other things that we have in place. So once again, our focus is around the non-academic needs of our students. Let's see if I can get our presentation back up. Oh, my bad. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. All right, so once again, so we are excited that we have started our Celebrity Readers program this year. Our goal was to target local leaders, community leaders, parents, students, faculty, and everybody to participate in the Celebrity Reader program to reinforce literacy, to help our students read and have a joy and appreciation for reading. So we have continued that program, and we had a number of different celebrities. Once again, our superintendent, I got an opportunity to read with our superintendent over at Walker. We had a great time. There's my childhood crush, Rhonda Walker. She was there. We've also had Ashley Barrissey, Aria Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson's sister, Miss Michigan, was here. And once again, Ashley Barrissey from Channel 4. But it's not just for those big celebrity names. And we have expanded the program, because I know when we think of reading to the students, we think about March as Reading Month. But it's all year long. Right now, you can go ahead and go on the website and sign up and participate in our Celebrity Reader program. From a mental health standpoint, our goal is to always focus on our students' mental health. And so we have created mental health libraries in every school across the district, with over 100 different titles in their library. So we're going to continue that work as we move forward. I'm going to turn it over back to Amanda.
So we are a partner with Big Green Detroit, and if you haven't heard of Big Green before, they're a nonprofit organization who provides raised garden beds to school districts so that they are able to teach children how to grow their own food. And when we talk about SEL and how it's so much more than just a curriculum, the skills that our students are learning through Big Green, such as taking care of something, working together as a team, working with partners. You can see in the pictures them curing the soil together. I think that explains right in that picture about what it's like to work on a team and be a partner. So we're very grateful to Big Green Detroit to have selected our school district to receive these garden beds. This is not a cheap venture for them to do and to supply us, so we're so grateful for them. They supply not only the raised garden beds, but they supply the soil, they supply the seeds. They also supply academic and educational resources and support in the way of resources for our teachers to know how to teach students how to plant in the garden beds. So we're excited to share with you that our schools that currently have garden beds are Hamilton Elementary, Hicks Elementary, Wildwood Elementary, Schweitzer Elementary, Franklin Middle School, and Wayne High. So those are our schools who currently have beds. And this spring and moving forward, we're going to be adding a lot of additional schools. So Stevenson Middle School, Adams Middle School, P.D. Graham Elementary, our STEM Center at John Glenn High School, Walker Winter Elementary, William D. Ford Career Technical Center, and our Culinary Arts program and our Sunshine and Rainbows program are going to be the ones using the beds at William D. Ford. And the schools with a star on the left are also adding additional beds. So I also want to give a major shout out to Tony Spizak and his team because they are the ones who install these garden beds, which is quite a task. He also helps us with the planning of where they're going to go at the school. So him and his team are going to be installing these starting this summer and moving forward as different bond projects wrap up at our buildings. So thank you, Tony. Next, I'm going to share just a little bit of information about our Family Resource Center. So just to remind everyone and keep it at the forefront, we do have 3 Family Resource Centers in our district. The phone number you see on your screen rings at all 3 of our sites. Our email address is also checked daily by all of our staff. And we can assist any Wayne-Westland student or family in need of basic need assistance or those seeking to be connected to resources in our community. So this is a picture of our Family Resource Center at Adams Middle School, and I wanted to share this because all of our Family Resource Centers have an awning above the door. They also have an external entrance so that families don't have to feel they need to go through the school if they want to receive private services through our Family Resource Center. So wanted to share that. Again, we are located at 3 school sites, Adams Middle School, Franklin Middle School, and John Glenn High School. We are open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30 p.m. We are open year-round, so we are there in the summer. We're just closed Fridays because the district is closed on Fridays. And then we are closed during the holiday and school breaks. Families can contact us a number of different ways. They can either call us, email us, walk in. We have a digital request for service form that we share on social media, in school newsletters, Facebook Messenger, and also a texting app, which works well with our students who may be in high school and wanting to seek services on their own. Some of the services that we provide are resources and referrals, like I mentioned before. We have material items for our Family Resource Center. Our FRC staff does the coordination of our Blessings in a Backpack program along with myself. We have a laundry assistance program. We do case management of students experiencing homelessness and in foster care placements. And all of our staff are MDHHS navigators, which that means that if a family is struggling with their case through Department of Health and Human Services, we can assist you. We can help you. If you're struggling with reaching your worker, if you want to apply for assistance, please call us because we can help you do that right in our office. Some of the resources and referrals that we give to families include, but aren't limited to, utility assistance, housing, food, clothing, tutoring, and more. We have a database of over 700 different local resources in our community, so we have something for everyone, I guarantee. The material items that we give out are things like school supplies, backpacks, socks, and underwear for students who are not able to afford them, toiletries so that our students can feel comfortable to go to school to learn. We have laundry detergent for families who are unable to afford that to wash their clothes. And we're also launching a clothing closet in the fall. Our Family Resource Center, if any of you have heard of Mimo's Clothes, they were a nonprofit in our community for about 10 years, 2 grandmothers collecting gently used clothing. They had a 501c3, and our FRC has adopted that program. They've donated all of the racks, all of the shelving, all of the leftover clothing, so we are currently giving out clothing to families in need. Our laundry assistance program allows us to provide families with coins to go to the laundromat to wash their clothing. We have resources on which laundry facilities will allow families to dry their clothing for free. And again, we had a soft launch of our clothing closet this year and a full opening in the fall. One thing I want to share about our new clothing closet program is that we are going to, like Blessings in a Backpack, provide work-based opportunities for our post-secondary students who are going to come and assist in the clothing closet and do things like fold clothing, organize. And those skills are going to be able to take directly to future employment. So we're so excited to have them come work with us in the Family Resource Center. We have a fresh food initiative where we give vouchers to local food stores for families. I bring this up because some families you're often not able to get fresh produce if you rely on a food bank for your groceries. Also, we've worked with families who their student maybe has an allergy, and if you've ever been to a food bank, trying to get gluten-free food from a food bank can be quite a challenge. We have relationships with local stores where we can provide vouchers to do this. I want to share that we host gleaners at our Adams Middle School Family Resource Center twice a month. We are feeding over 400 families twice a month at that gleaners site. So we are excited about that program and how it's grown. Again, we coordinate our Blessings in a Backpack program, and I'm so grateful that we were able to recognize those students here this evening. The pictures show, so the students pack the food items each week by a menu set by Gleaners and Blessings. They ride a school bus over to Hicks Elementary with the food, and then they help distribute it to the students at Hicks in a discreet manner. So we're really excited. I want to mention too, and just kind of give a, just bring it up, that Blessings in a Backpack is completely run on donations. This is not connected with any district money. So the amount of funds that we receive equals the number of students we're able to feed. So out on the table this evening, we do have donation slips. This is also available on our website for anyone who would like to make a donation. You can either mail a check or pay online. So we look forward to any donations so we can continue to grow. We want to feed every student at Hicks Elementary and then grow beyond that as well. I want to bring up the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. And I have to recognize Kimberly May, who is my fellow homeless McKinney-Vento homeless liaison and foster care liaison from Plymouth Canton Community Schools. So her and I work together on a lot of initiatives. But students who are lacking a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence are students who qualify for services under McKinney-Vento. So those students, what that means is if they are living in situations like shelters, hotels, motels, cars, parks, abandoned vehicles, doubled up with other families due to economic hardship, other places where humans are not designed to live, those situations can qualify under the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. And what does that mean? Services could be eligible to that family, such as free school meals, assistance with transportation to and from school, even if the family is living outside of the school district, provided school supplies and materials, and immediate enrollment even when lacking documents to do so. Also, students in foster care placements. So these are students who are under the supervision of the Department of Health and Human Services, often due to the removal by Child Protective Services. We provide case management for these students through our Family Resource Center. This includes both students who are permanent and temporary court wards. Permanent means the families or the parents' parental rights have been fully terminated. Temporary means the parent does still have some rights, but they're still under the supervision of the Department of Health and Human Services. The goal for both McKinney-Vento and students in foster care placements is to try to keep that student in the house, or I'm sorry, in the school that they were in at the time of removal from CPS or at the time that they became homeless, because school may be the only stable thing in that student's life. So if we have a student who is residing in Taylor in a shelter or in a motel, and we can get them to Wayne-Westland School so they can stay with their class and their friends and their teacher, we're gonna do that.
All right, and so just continuing in that vein, so we also have our Henry Ford Optimized program where we have free eyeglasses for our students. And so the program also includes a free exam, and it covers the cost of everything. So once again, our students who have needs, can't see the board, and a lot of times we think you have a learning disability. It may be something as simple as eyeglasses. And so we're excited to continue this relationship. with Henry Ford Optimize and Share Your Vision. They also give a credit or discount to all of our employees throughout the district based on this relationship. Okay.
Smile program's the mobile dentist, so we want to make sure that as a part of our SEL department, we're caring for our students, not only their mental health, but their physical health. So Smile programs provides on-site dental services to our students free of charge. They provide cleanings and restorative care, meaning if we have a student who has a cavity, they can fill the cavity on site as long as they have the consent from the parent. And so last school year, they did provide services to our district. I'm currently working on the MOU for this school year, but I anticipate that they will be in place for the fall, no problem. So we just wanted to share that. And then lastly, we want to share about our partnership with Corewell Health. So Corewell Health has worked with Gleaners, and they received a grant so that we could provide food pantries inside several of our buildings in the district. So those food pantries, there is no stipulation. If you are a family in need of food, and now actually also toiletries, because within the last 2 months, this grant is also covering toiletry items as well. So the pantry coordinators are listed on your screen if you're a parent in the room and you are interested in receiving food or toiletries through that food pantry or watching this video. So we just want to mention that Wayne Memorial High School, Elliott Elementary, Stottlemyre, Roosevelt, McGrath Elementary, Hamilton Elementary, John Glenn High School, and Hicks Elementary all have food pantries within their building. Those food pantries will continue for the next school year and for as long as we have that grant.
So with that being said, we will close out our presentation, and even though we're done, we're really not through. We've got a lot more programs going on. This week we'll have our first beautification day at Atwood Park, where students are going to come out and clean up the parks. But we've got much more going on, PD for our staff, and a lot more in the whole SEL lane. So we're excited for the opportunity. We hope you got something out of the presentation, and we'll take questions at this time.
Thank you. Excellent presentation, by the way. Thank you very much. Questions or comments, members of the board?
I just have a quick
Mel?
comment. I like to say you guys are doing an amazing job. You know, being a single parent, I've suffered through some hardships. And just, you know, having those resources is just amazing. And just like the positive programs with the mental health with our children, and even with the homeless children being able to come back to the same school. So you guys are doing an amazing job. You know, you're looking after these different grants. You're just making sure our kids are taken care of. So I'd like to thank you guys for your services.
Other members? Ms. May?
Thank you. So yes, most definitely thank you. Thank you for this presentation. Dr. Dignan knows that I have been asking for various presentations just to highlight the things that are happening in the districts and not so much for the board, but for the community. So what you all shared today, I mean, this is fantastic. And for the families to know that this actually exists in the district, this is fantastic. I have one question, and that's just around the restorative practices training and the collection of data. What will you use for baseline data?
So at this point in time, we're utilizing the disciplinary records and whatnot that we currently have as our baseline data. And so after we implement the programming, once again, so it'll be kind of your pre and your post in terms of looking at where things are now versus after the restorative practice training takes place.
So will you look at suspension data,
Yes,
or
suspension data, yes.
So a combination suspension, expulsion, as well as like ISS data? You're looking at all of that?
Yes. All
Okay.
of that, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Other members of the board? Mr. Neal?
I just have to say, after listening to the both of you, you've covered every aspect of life. I mean, it just amazes me how much you're involved in and how many services you provide and make sure that are provided to our district. And it's just amazing to me. Thank you.
Anyone? I'd like to say, is there, as Ms. May said, one of the reasons that she wanted these presentations, and I think rightfully so, is so that the community can be made aware that these resources exist, that really we could take so much insecurity away from a family. How can we get this word out? How can we communicate this more to the citizens?
they're gonna work, I'm gonna jump in now. They're gonna work with our communications department to create a marketing campaign this summer that can be launched for next fall, so the word can get out. One of the other resources too, that kind of complements what we're doing is called the Information Center. And it doesn't matter what the issue the family's facing with, they will work kind of like Carousales to make sure they meet the need of that family of where they're at. So we've really strengthened that partnership over the course of the last year.
Thank you very much for the presentation, and thank you, Dr. Dignan.
Can I come back? I'm sorry.
Sure. Come in. Ms. May has another comment.
I was speaking and I was remiss in not saying how wonderful Amanda Dibus is, because we work hand in hand. We share some students, so I have firsthand experience working with Amanda, and so I needed to shout her out just to say how awesome it is. And I can call Amanda and say, hey, I'm jammed up. Can you think of something else? So we work together, and I have to say that she is one of the most compassionate people that I know. And so I needed to say that about Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all the presenters. Next item on our agenda, 257.23, are citizens' comments. This is the portion of the meeting reserved for citizens wishing to address the board on items which appear on the board's agenda this evening. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the board on an agenda item? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to 258. Ma'am, you have something you'd like?
I just wanted to direct a question to the gentleman who was mentioning about getting information out to the schools on the programs that were just presented.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to know, will you see to it that it will be in each school so that each student will have access to that information?
Absolutely.
Because it's very good.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Does the chair hear a motion on consent?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Weaver. Is there support? Thank you, Mr. Neal. Support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Hines.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. May? President Cox?
Yes.
Let the record show 6-0.
Thank you, Mel. The 259.23 is Board of Education Committee report. Ms. May.
Thank you. Good evening. The Finance Committee meeting of the Board of Trustees of Wayne-Westland Community Schools was held May 4th, 2023, beginning at 4:31 p.m. via Zoom platform. Mr. Wenzel presented technology purchases that will be charged to Title I and the General Fund. Mr. Spizak and Mr. Underwood shared details of the bid opening. Mr. Spizak and Mr. Vanderzee provided an update regarding the security program investment, as well as information regarding protecting our security system upgrades. Mrs. Cleaves presented the investment report and check register. Mrs. Cleaves also shared comments on behalf of Dr. Dignan. Each board member thanked the staff for their presentations. And the meeting was adjourned at 5:02 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. May. Next item is 260.23, which is review and approval of business service items. Dr. O'Feely?
Thank you, President Cox. Good evening, everyone. I'll be filling in for Ms. Cleaves as she's out today. I'm requesting board approval to purchase a quantity of up to 1,308 Dell Latitude Chromebooks pursuant to the Title I K amendments as recommended by Seth Wenzel, Executive Director of Technology. If approved, this purchases will be charged to building grant accounts and will not exceed a total cost of approximately $400,000.
Thank you, Doctor. Is there a
So
motion? Moved by Mr.
Support.
Albrecht, support by Dr. Weaver. Discussion? Roll call vote, please, Mel.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Dr. O'Feely.
I'm requesting approval from the Board of Education to purchase a quantity of up to 1,925 headsets with microphones and 795 headsets as recommended by Seth Wenzel, Executive Director of Technology. If approved, these purchases will be charged to building grant accounts and will not exceed a total cost of approximately $47,000.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Albrecht, support? Ms.
Support.
May? Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
6-0, motion carries.
Dr. O'Feely.
Based upon the results of a public bid openings held on May 2nd, 2023 via Zoom meeting, I'm requesting board approval to award contracts as follows, as recommended by Mr. Doug Underwood of McCarthy and Smith, Inc. The total award recommendation amount is approximately $10 million. This project will be charged to the bond fund, sinking fund, and grant funds.
Thank you, Dr. O'Feely. Is there a motion by Mr. Neal?
So moved.
Support. Support by Dr. Weaver. Is there a discussion? 10 million, not even a discussion. Roll call vote, please, Mel. 10 million.
Mr. Weaver? I'm sorry, Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. President Cox?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
We knew it was coming. Dr. O'Feely.
I'm requesting board approval to extend the technology service contracts as recommended by Carl Vanderzee. If approved, these contract extension will be awarded existing technology vendors, FD Hayes, Moss Telecom, and VSC, and will not exceed approximately $161,000. These extensions will be charged to the bond funds.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. May. Support?
Support.
Mr. Neal. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. May?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
Let the motion show, motion carries 6-0.
Thanks, Mel. Next item on our agenda is 261.23 is a student reinstatement. Mr. Toko.
Good evening, board and community. I am requesting approval from the Board of Education to reinstate student 2223/C into in-person instruction at John Glenn High School.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to read the resolution for the record. Whereas the Board of Education for the Wayne-Westland Community Schools convened on the 22nd of May, 2023 to consider the petition for reinstatement filed on behalf of expelled student 2223-C and to consider the report and recommendations of the reinstatement committee previously appointed by the board. Whereas the Board of Education is persuaded for the reasons set forth in the reinstatement committee's report and recommendation that student 2223-C should be reinstated to the Wayne-Westland Community Schools. Therefore, it is resolved that the reinstatement committee's report and recommendation is hereby adopted by the Board of Education, and that for the reasons stated herein, the petition for school reinstatement filed on behalf of student 2223-C is hereby approved. Is there a motion on the resolution? Moved by Mr.
Support.
Albrecht, support by Dr. Weaver. Is there a discussion? Roll call vote, please, ma'am.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. President Cox?
Yes.
6-0, motion carries.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda, 262.23, is the review and approval of the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency Budget Resolution. Is there a motion on the budget resolution?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Hines, support?
Support.
Support by Ms. May. Is there discussion? Mr. Albrecht.
I just want to point out again this year that Wayne Reese's Act 18 fund has a fund balance of $271 million, and their ending balance is going to be $265 million. That's enough to support Act 18 programs for a year and a half. They still won't give us more money that we need for those children in our programs.
Yep. Is there further discussion? I'd like to add on to what Mr. Albrecht said. Roll call vote, please, Mel.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. May?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
Let the record show motion carry 6-0.
Thank you, Mel. 263.23 is review and approval of the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency Election Representative Resolution. We presented this at the last meeting. This resolution just approves what we discussed at the last meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Albrecht, support by
Support.
Dr. Weaver. Is there discussion? Roll call vote, please, Mel.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Dr. Weaver,
Yes.
Ms. May,
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. President Cox,
Yes.
motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 264.23 on our agenda is the superintendent's report and comments. Dr. Dignan?
Thanks, President Cox. First off, I just want to thank our students from Walker Winter for reciting the pledge this evening, as well as all the presentations and student honors. We held Discover Your Path last week at Hype in Wayne, and I want to thank the owner for allowing us to kind of host the event. All of our 8th graders and our Wayne-Westland Innovative Academy students participated. It was a hands-on activity from over 40 industry partners and predominantly dominated by the skilled trades. Getting on that same kind of tone, we had a Luno event last Thursday evening where 8 of our students are actually going to go into a pre-apprenticeship program this summer. The time that they have will be counted towards their journeyman license if they decide to go become a laborer. So we're pretty pleased about that. And we're the first school district in Wayne County to be connected to Luna, who's one of the oldest unions in the country. John Glenn had a teacher that hit a high note, and it's good because she's actually the music teacher at John Glenn, Miss Bonner. So she won a $1,000 award donation from the Giroux Pappas Trial Attorney Law Firm. We're very pleased and happy for her. I just want to highlight some of the work happening at our Career Tech Center. We have had 173 students that have gone out in work-based learning this year. By far, it's the highest number we've had. Some of these are paid jobs, some were unpaid internships or clinicals. But again, the most important thing is our students are out there getting hands-on training. So I want to make sure that I acknowledge Gabe Babowski. She's been the backbone behind these efforts, as well as Stephanie Bigelow. Without their hard work, this would never came to fruition. About a week ago, for over 2 weeks, we had all of our 5th graders, over 800 of them, in our district